And this week's quote comes from author Alan Lakin. Alan Lakin was, someone who really wrote a lot about time management and, preparing for the future, right? So apropos of the things that we talk about here on the show as well. And the quote from Alan Lakin is this: planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. I think that's such a great way to look at planning, Mike.
I love it because we often say, man, if I had only known then what I know now. And that's why they call hindsight 2020, right? But planning is the tool that allows you to see the future and enact the future that you had always envisioned. I mean, it means that, taking your future goals, your future needs, your future concerns, bringing them to the now, the present, and by understanding and preparing for them now, you can take steps today that will shape a comfortable and secure future. And taking this approach will transform your retirement from just a vague someday type of concept into something concrete, which gives you control over how you prepare and ultimately how you experience it. So I want to go over 3 examples of how this idea applies to your retirement. So we've talked a lot about, building an emergency fund and preparing for health care and all this stuff. But, how about building an emergency health care fund? Okay. You might not anticipate significant health issues in the future, but we know healthcare costs tend to increase with age. And by setting aside a specific fund for future medical expenses, you're actually addressing future concerns now in the present. And establishing this reserve early on reduces the likelihood of you having to dip into your main retirement savings. It also provides you peace of mind that healthcare needs will not compromise your lifestyle in retirement. Matt, what do you think about, creating an emergency fund, but specifically for healthcare?
Yeah, no, I think that's a wonderful thing to focus on because, we do often talk about building that emergency fund, just a general emergency fund. Let's say something goes wrong with the house. You need a new HVAC system. You need a new roof. You have, God forbid, some sort of accident in the car and you've got to have some, some money to go out and buy a new car, all of those type things that you're planning for the unexpected in life. But, especially in retirement, I mean, healthcare is going to become one of, if not the single largest expenses that you have, because the older we get, the more the body breaks down, right? So it only stands to reason. So having that specific money set aside for that purpose, I think is just a great idea for every single person listening to the sound of our voices here today.
I hope they agree with you, Matt, because I certainly feel that way. All right. Number 2, we talk about retirement as the golden years. Okay. So that means you should create that bucket list spending plan. Okay. Many people have dreams of traveling or pursuing hobbies once they retire. And rather waiting until you retire to figure out just how you're going to be able to afford each and every single one of your goals, start budgeting for them now. For instance, if you want to travel to specific destinations, then start calculating the potential costs and then set aside a small monthly amount each and every single pay period for that travel fund. That brings the future vision into present planning and makes those dreams far more attainable. Matt, I love to travel. How about you?
I do as well. And as mentioned at the top of the show, just got back from a cruise for the very first time and met a lot of people who had actually done that sort of very thing that, they had saved up for a long time to be able to go and do all of the things that they've wanted to do and go places they've never been before. I got to go to 4 cities that I had never been to before, and 2 of them in Canada. So it was just a really great place to go and a really wonderful thing to experience. And if you have those bucket list items being places that you want to go, things that you want to do, yeah, save up for those because you can, really and truly bring that dream that you have into the present and make it a reality for your future self.
Yeah, people ask me all the time. They're like, Mike, how do you travel as much as you do? And the answer is, I plan for it. And so every time I get paid, I take a little bit of money and we put it aside, and we just know that that money is for travel. I also do that with taxes. I pay a little bit aside for taxes. I put a little bit aside for the emergency fund. And it's just a matter of getting control of your finances instead of letting your finances control you. And the last and final thing that I want to talk about is maybe you want to take on new hobbies, or you want to continue what is called lifelong learning. And so, retirement often brings the opportunity to explore new interests, new hobbies, but, learning a new skill or maybe even joining a club, that can have a lot of costs associated. And so, by identifying what you'd like to pursue in retirement, whether it's gardening, whether it's woodworking, or even going back to college and taking classes that you're actually interested in, because when you're interested in, you tend to apply yourself. Okay. You can begin setting aside those funds and perhaps even time for those interests today, now, in the present. All right. You might take introductory classes or build a network with others in the field so that by the time you retire, you're ready to jump into those activities and enjoy them to the fullest, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that is great. And a lot of times people talk about, instead of necessarily, retiring, maybe reinventing themselves in their retirement years, right? And so you're making those hobbies that you might already even have, turning those into something that you do more than just a hobby. Maybe you enjoy woodworking and it's just something that you've done kind of in your garage, but you want to do it more because you've got more time on your hands. Turn that into something that can make you some money as well, so that you can cash in on the woodworking or the painting or the things that you like to do. My mom, when she you when I was a kid, she used to take painting classes, and then after she retired, she kind of would paint some and then take those to like a local market random weekends and sell some of her paintings and stuff. So it's cool. You can really take time to learn new things and reinvent yourself, and not only have that be a fulfilling thing for yourself emotionally and mentally and all that, but also have it be a fulfilling thing for your wallet.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, have you thought about what you want to do maybe in the next chapter of life?
Yeah, I mean, I have thought about a lot of different things. I want to travel a lot.
Mhm.
I do want to travel a lot. That's going to be, I think, number one for me. But I also, I enjoy, getting in and like doing things with my hands, which is why I mentioned like the woodworking thing, the painting thing, like building
Yep.
stuff. I've always enjoyed. My dad was actually very good at building furniture. I have a bookcase that
Wow.
I've had since I was a kid that my dad built back in the day, and I'm like, this is the kind of thing that I kind of want to do. Just even if it's just like small pieces of furniture or whatever, I just want to like get really good at it. And
Mhm.
then, either just do it, for myself, or maybe go and try and sell some pieces somewhere.
No doubt. I mean, I've actually thought of going back to college to get a law degree. Just to have it. I mean, it just sounds like something that would be interesting. Would keep me engaged at least. And I know I've got a couple buddies that are attorneys, and they're like, "Dude, you're crazy." And I'm like, "Hey, I don't know. Maybe I am." I won't stop doing what I'm doing because I have a passion for this and I love it so much. But I just think that could definitely complement when we talk about financial law and stuff like that. I just think it would be a cool addition to the repertoire.
Yeah, and even like, things like tax law and stuff like that. I mean, just adding that to
Yeah,
the
no, I don't want to do that.
knowledge. I mean, that
I'm
does
not a
get
big
into
fan of taxes.
right. That does get into the weeds just a touch. But yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, no, understanding different aspects of the law, I think, is great too. But yeah, I mean, you might be a little bit crazy, but hey,